You're with The Capitalist Sage, a twice-a-month podcast that seeks out entrepreneurs and experts that speak to the real-world life of doing business for their sage advice. Now, with your hosts, Carl Barham and Rico Figliolini.
Hello, everyone. This is Carl Barham with Capitalist Sage. It's a podcast dedicated to talk to small business owners and helping them with understanding things they can do to improve their business. We have guests that offer advice, practical things that you can do to help improve your business. I'm Carl Barham. Also, my co-host is Rico Figliolini. And today I have a special guest, Bonnie Mauldin from the Mauldin Group.
Hello.
I'd like to get started with Bonnie, tell me a little bit about what made you choose this line of work to go into, specializing in helping small businesses and businesses improve their digital media strategies?
Sure. I got my start in medicine, worked as a clinical laboratory scientist in a hospital for a number of years, decided to become an entrepreneur, so I resigned, started a health and wellness company. This was back when Google was new, Facebook was big, and MySpace was huge at the time, and I wanted to find a way to promote my business so I can get new customers. So I started using social media, started using my website and podcasting, which was not very popular, but was growing in popularity. And I saw that this was a great way to get new customers, to sell products online, and to grow my business. Eventually, I decided to transition my business from a health and wellness company, and I took the business and I sold it to my cousin, and I started the Mauldin Group because I enjoyed the marketing piece of it so much that I wanted to help small businesses grow like I was able to help my own business grow.
So you saw some of the benefits of this. What kind of impact can it have on a small business, and how does it really help them grow? It's the revenue. How do they get more customers using digital media, social media?
Sure. Well, social media is like having your own newspaper, magazine, and television station. It's a broadcasting vehicle that you can use to talk directly to your ideal customers. And by having a direct channel in the hearts and minds of thousands of people at once allows you to sell your products and expand your brand and tell your story so more people can engage and more people can buy.
Excellent. And you've gone into this. You seem to have a passion for it.
Yes.
And you're dealing with clients all day long, I'm sure. And social media, I'm just curious, how's your personal social media? How do you deal with that? You have to separate that a little bit, right?
Yes. So I do have my personal social media pages, and then I have my business social media pages. I do spend more time on the business because I'm a workaholic and I work all the time and constantly trying to build our own brand as we build others. But social media is a game changer. It allows people to go from the bottom to the top. That's our tagline, go from the bottom to the top. And if you have a passion for something, you can start talking about it and build an audience around that topic.
Okay. Well, what about, can you give me an example of a business that, really saw an impact by embracing this new technology, especially if there was a business that people wouldn't think can leverage this to help grow their business?
Sure. One case study is with a guy who owned a pool company. He began to blog about the different topics around pools, and his business grew over 50% because people were finding these blogs to answer their questions about pool care and pool maintenance and pool purchases. So that's an example of how just a simple blog that answers a person's query can just drive targeted traffic to your website and increase sales.
I notice a lot of times folks want to learn how to do something and they go look online, they look at YouTube to how to do things out there. And so that's one use. What do people get wrong about using these different platforms when they're trying to help improve their business?
Sure. Most business owners are on one end of the spectrum or the other. They don't use it at all. That's a big mistake. Or they try to take on too much too soon, using too many platforms, not posting enough, not being consistent, not having quality content to post.
Oh, okay.
When you're dealing with choices, like you mentioned before, about choosing different social media. Every company is a little different, whether you're selling to other businesses in which you should use or you're doing consumer. Instagram, we talked a little bit about that before the show, I guess. As far as using something, let's say Instagram, on a more hyper-local basis, how would a business owner that has a retail storefront be able to use that app and that platform to be able to reach their localized consumer?
Sure. Instagram allows you to place ads. Instagram allows you to place pictures. Instagram allows you to place video on their platform so you can build an audience around a specific topic locally or nationally or internationally. A great way to connect and build your business using Instagram is to post consistently every day, preferably, and to connect to other influencers in your local community, whether that's a person, an organization, or other businesses that are peripheral to your ideal audience. And these are going to be connections that will help your following grow and will also build credibility with those organizations that you're connecting to.
I can imagine that a lot of business owners are intimidated by the technology. Are there any advice you could provide a business owner that wanted to do this themselves and they wanted to get started? What would be a good starting point? What are some of the things that they can do? And let's pick Facebook, for instance, if they wanted to start broadcasting and reaching their customers through Facebook.
Sure. So Facebook is relatively simple to use if you take the time to learn how to use it. I recommend taking an online course that will take you through the basics of the types of posts, the quality of the posts, the look of the post, the timing of the post, and the demographics that you're trying to target. Also, Facebook ads are a powerful way to really learn who is interested in your service and what services will be the most popular. So I would recommend taking a course. I actually offer a course on Udemy. It's called Rainmaker Social Media Training, and it's less than $50. And people all over the world are taking this training, and they're getting these really high-powered tips that can be implemented right away. That training is actually the one you went to, Carl. And it's the same training that you went to, but it's online as a digital course.
Oh, fabulous. I tell you, one of the things that I notice, I have lots of friends that are on Facebook all the time and they use it in their personal life. But starting to look at it from a business practical purpose is a really powerful way to help reach customers. Can you talk a little bit about how folks that have a local business, say on Main Street, can use some of these platforms to help target a local audience?
Sure. Social media is all about storytelling. It's all about creating a story around your brand, what makes you unique, and why people should choose you over the competitors. So some of the ways you can do that is by getting involved with your customers, having them share what their experience was like through testimonials, through video, through photographs. Also, making sure your employees are engaged on social media as well, making sure the product itself is being filmed and photographed, and making sure the end result is being displayed properly online and posted about.
So if I have an iPhone and I'm recording customers and guests into my store and so on, I post it on Facebook and so on. Is that as simple as that, or what else do I have to do?
Yes, you also want to make sure you have a call to action for what you want people to do after they watch your content or read your content or hear your content. So if someone's listening to your podcast, okay, what do I do next? Do I download something? Do I call? Do I email? Do I subscribe? You want to let them know, I made this content for you. Now this is what I want you to do. Okay,
so create content, post it online, have a call to action.
1, 2, 3, simple.
Pretty good.
Do you find that doing a live, we're doing live right now.
Hello.
Right? To do a live stream on Instagram or Facebook, do you find that more compelling to get people?
Yes, it's very exciting for people to see things live because they feel like they're right there with you. but it's also evergreen because people can watch it later. So the more live, the better.
Yeah. Excellent. So we talked a little bit about Facebook. LinkedIn is huge, and I know lots of people that use LinkedIn. What would be a good time to use LinkedIn, and what specific things can people do to help promote their business and get more revenue using LinkedIn?
LinkedIn is a great professional network, great for B2B, even B2C. You want to have a professional photograph for your picture, no selfies. You want to have a professional description of who you are and what you do, a professional and correct accounting for your job experience, and also a call to action on the LinkedIn page for when people see your LinkedIn page, what they can do next to engage your service and to get started. Also, you want to post on a regular basis, 1 to 3 times per day, so you can stay relevant in your followers' feed. And also, you want to follow and connect with all of your prospective clients on LinkedIn, so that way you're seeing their feed. When they post something, you can comment on it. And when you post something and they're connected to you, they will see it. And that back and forth over a period of time builds a virtual relationship where if you do call after a number of posts that was shared and commented on, they'll remember you and you'll have a warmer lead than just calling out of the blue to get started and engage with the service.
You were saying before how you can even advertise, I think, on Instagram you were mentioning. So I know Instagram you could do down to the zip code area if you wanted to. Same thing for Facebook. Can people push their content out or advertise like that or boost their posts on LinkedIn also?
Yes, LinkedIn is very special in that it offers 3 types of social media ads. It has the promoted ads where you can put an ad in someone's feed and it looks like a regular post from someone or the company. Okay. You have the text ad. Those are just the regular ads that you see in the sidebar of a feed. And then you have the in-mail ads, and these are ads that will appear in the inbox of your ideal customer, and it will look like a regular message that came from one of their connections. So by having a strong call to action, having very nice graphics to accommodate the call to action, you can have a pretty targeted campaign by the industry, by the title, by the job, by the company, and it's pretty granular in how targeted you can get those ads and the messaging to your ideal prospect, and that's what makes LinkedIn special. Now, the ads are fairly expensive, more expensive than Facebook, and that's because the level of targeting you're able to do within the platform.
Right. Are there things that you see folks doing on their social media that are big mistakes when you look across the board? What are some of the top mistakes you see people making?
That's a great question, Carl. I would say posting about religion and politics. That's a big no-no.
Yeah.
Because at some point you're going to make someone upset. And also getting too personal, talking about deaths in the family or your personal health problems, because that might come back to bite you or your loved one in the future. You never know how that data is mined and how it may be used against you. So you don't want to post things that are too personal, and you don't want to post things that will make people upset. Only entertain, educate, and engage. Do not make people upset, and do not share too much of your data online.
I often see some businesses constantly posting promotion, what they're selling, and so on. And after a certain time, you tend to start to tune that out there. What's the right, ratio or percentage would you say I should be posting about what I'm selling or promotion versus other types of content?
Yes, I would say follow the 80-20 rule. The 80-20 rule says 80% entertainment, engagement, information, 20% sales. So if most of the content that you post is answering questions, giving case studies, testimonials, sharing information about the product, And then the 20% of it is saying, oh, by the way, if you need this, give me a call. That's the perfect balance.
Got it. Why does that work? When you talked about the buyer journey, I'm sure it's related to that a little bit. But when you focus on that, why does it work, and why do most people struggle with that?
Yes, because most business owners want to increase their sales right away. They want business. They see a group of people that might buy something, and they immediately say, hey, this is what I have to offer. Buy it from me. And so they're a little too eager. They're too quick on the draw, and they're not willing to build the relationship first. And that's offline as well with networking. You have to build the relationship if you're going to networking events, by shaking hands and having meetings and building rapport first. The same thing that works offline works online too, where you have to build rapport, get to know each other first, and then ask for the business, ask to close the sale. So I would say in the buyer's journey, you have awareness, letting them know who you are. You have interests where they may ask you a question about what you do. You have decision where they're going back and forth comparing prices, and then you have action where they pull out the credit card and they pay. So those are the stages of the buyer's journey in the sales funnel, and you want to gently move your prospects along in that funnel by constantly answering questions, being an information resource versus a salesperson online.
Now, you're an expert in this space and you can help lots of people. Are there tools out there that helps you to manage all this? Sounds like a lot of content being created, a lot of content being posted, and there's only so many hours in a day. Are there tools that could help people or methods and techniques that you might recommend?
Sure. There are tools out there that will help you post to several platforms at the same time. However, I do recommend that the content that you build or create for each platform is tailored to that platform. So you don't want to post the exact same thing to Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram all at the same time. But some of the best aggregators out there are tools like Zoho and Hootsuite and Buffer. These are some of the tools that a business owner can use to populate their posts and schedule them out to post automatically.
Okay. So, if a business owner wanted to do this, they got themselves some training on this, how much time per week would you say a business owner should dedicate to their social media strategy?
Yeah, so 30 minutes a week is realistic for a small business owner who's just getting started. The next step, I would recommend hiring a freelancer or virtual assistant to help with social media. And then once your business has progressed and gotten to a certain point where you can afford a budget and set aside a budget specifically for social media, $500 to $3,000 per month for social media. $500 to $3,000 per month. That's about the range that you would spend on something like this as a small business owner. Then you can pay an agency to do it for you. Got
it. Is there any folks that you've seen use innovative practices in social medias on their own to really drive great growth and success?
Yes, there are hundreds of stories out there, Carl, just like that, where you have young kids, young as 5 years old, posting content and getting millions of followers and making millions of dollars selling knickknacks and advertising space on their channel. But one that comes to mind is a particular business owner who owned a pool company. He began to blog, answering customers' questions and sharing information about pools, and his business grew over 50%. Wow. Just by driving traffic to his website, answering those customer inquiries.
I'm wondering about all the different ways that you can drive content to there. Do you have any idea? Well, I've heard video is really, really the medium that drives folks. Can you give me an idea of how much more traffic can video drive, and how do you effectively create content, post it, and keep it fresh?
Sure. So, of course, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And A video is 1,000 pictures all stringed together, thousands of pictures, right? So video is much more engaging. It helps the reader or the visitor of the site understand more quickly what the website is all about, what the services do, and how they help. So it is just a powerful way to increase conversions on your website, increase visitors to your website. So more people will call you and fill out forms and fill out chat box and subscribe to your newsletter or channels. So you want to post information that will be interesting and intriguing to your ideal customers. What questions would they have? What objections would they have? What successes would they experience? You want to give them the look and feel of what it's like to work with you, and express that through video as much as you can, and post those posts as often as you can, and that increases your chances of improving your sales.
Good.
No, I was just going to ask, as you were talking about video, I was thinking, do I have to get, sometimes I'm afraid I'm a business owner and I want to seem professional. Do I need all my video productions to be professionally made versus what I can do off of a phone or using some of my employees to videotape things?
Sure. So you do want to have a polished look if you can, but there's no shame in starting with a cell phone because it makes it look and feel more real. Mm-hmm. But I would recommend professional photography, professional videography if you have the budget for it. And starting off with a cell phone is perfectly great. Yeah,
because, cell phones have, especially today, you're talking about megapixels that are high enough to be able to almost be, not broadcast quality, but to be able to give an HD type feel to it.
Yeah, and the editing software is so simple nowadays.
Right. Even the stuff that we're doing right now, actually, with little studio editing, going back and forth and such.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if someone were starting out a business today and they were looking at their marketing strategies there, how much emphasis would you put on social media versus some of the other approaches that people traditionally do?
So some of the traditional approaches would include traditional media. That's radio, television ads, magazine ads, newspaper ads, and direct mail. The cost to do these traditional media types are 5 to 10 to 20 times more than digital media. The cost to reach thousands of people through traditional media is 5 to 10 times more expensive than digital media, and that's why most companies are leaning towards digital and taking that traditional marketing budget and switching it over to digital. However, traditional media has its place, and if you have the budget to do a little bit of both, it's definitely advantageous if you work it in a strategic way.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Well, love to ask a little bit about what you've got going on in your business. Anything that you've got coming up?
Sure. Thanks for asking. The Mauldin Group is a digital marketing agency that specializes in web design and lead generation. We build, host, and maintain websites. We post to social media for our clients. We answer negative reviews. We post ads on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Google. And we create blogs and newsletters for our clients. So we make it possible for our clients to have an exceptional online presence so they can attract their ideal customers. We're very focused on education. We host workshops, and we have executive luncheons that we put on to share this information that I talked about today with the business community so they can get plugged into the internet and start increasing their sales as well. I have an event coming up on January the 29th at the Country Club of the South. It's called the 2019 Marketing Trends Executive Luncheon for home service experts, and it's specifically for people who are tradesmen. These are roofers, electricians, plumbers, and they have an opportunity to work with each other and learn how to present themselves online to increase their sales.
Well, I'd like to thank you, Bonnie. I definitely think and I recommend for folks that are in home services business, I think it would be an advantage for you to step up your game in this area. It'll differentiate you. And the next generation of homeowners were born and live in this digital media. So having a strong presence to that would really be helpful. If someone wanted to reach out and contact you and ask some questions and follow up on the start of this conversation, what would be the best way to reach you?
Sure. They can give me a call at 888-724-4150. They can visit our website at themauldingroup.com and also learn more about our upcoming events at 2019marketingtrends.com.
Cool. Well, would love to thank Bonnie for joining us today, Bonnie Mauldin from the Mauldin Group. Lots of good tips and advice that folks can start incorporating in the new year. So I know if people set up New Year's resolution, really getting your digital social strategy online would make perfect sense. And just want to thank you for spending some time with us today and sharing that with our audience.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me on the show. Had fun.
Thanks, Bonnie.
Thank you.
We should also thank Atlanta Tech Park for the podcast studio, for the ability to do it out here in Peachtree Corners. So thank you to you guys for doing that, and to our sponsors of Explore Gwinnett that provides top 10 lists through Explore Gwinnett and through PeachtreeCornersLife.com, where you find all the videos and all these podcasts hosted at. So Carl and I have sat down, and I think we've planned out the next 6-8 months of great podcasts coming up on all sorts of industries, all sorts of topics, and it's going to be exciting stuff that's coming out. So we're twice a month that you can find our podcast. So feel free to visit PeachtreeCornersLife.com to get that. And to follow Carl. Carl, where can they follow you on too? You can follow me at Transworld Business Advisors of Atlanta Peachtree. That's www.tworld.com/Atlanta Peachtree. You could also reach me at 770-766-9855 if you have any questions about business or just whatever conversation about things that you could do to improve your business. We'd love to have a chat with you. And if you're local here in the city of Peachtree Corners or in the surrounding areas and you're listening to this, I'm going to be launching Peachtree Corners Magazine. It's going to be a quarterly magazine. So feel free to, look for that online and on newsstands and in your home, actually. All 17,000 households are going to be getting this in the city. So, look at that. And if you have any suggestions, any ideas, and future, we'll be taking comments off live chat as well and comments on the Facebook Live feed. So feel free to comment on those, but look for the show.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
This has been The Capitalist Sage with Carl Barham and Rico Figliolini, the twice-a-month podcast with entrepreneurs and business experts. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Want more? Visit our website at capitalistsagepodcast.com.